warm. I'm going to turn the fan on. Welcome, everybody. I am Famine from Famine Studios. How are you? Good to see you. I'm going to yawn. I apologize. It's humid. Weird weather. I tried taking a nap earlier. It just wasn't happening. But we're here. Everybody that gripes, especially the homie Fat Red, he's all like, hey, I'll screw if I want to, Jess. But everybody's like, oh, we can't see the starport. It's right there. It's not going anywhere. I just need you guys over here. I like you over here. It's nice, we're close. Just get a little hand rubbing. A little of that going. It happens. But we'll let some friends come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And, you know, if you're new to the channel, I'm Famine. We do custom toys, world building. I yawn, apparently. Some days I'm Johnny, full of energy. Go, go, go. Other days I got the gaps, as my grandfather used to say. Whenever somebody would start yawning a lot, they got the gaps. So some days I have, quote, the gaps. But wearing a blue sun shirt, little firefly, a little bit of sci-fi love there. This is actually from a Jane cosplay that I never finished. But I still regularly wear my Quantum Mechanics Star Wars shirts because they're dope shirts. Yeah, so at this point, obviously I'm not going. Just with the house, with everything that I've had to do. But like, let me tell you, I would be spending car payment or two there on figures and different things. But excuse me one second. The good thing is, I've had a couple of folks offer to pick me up some things while they're there, which is nice. It's much appreciated. So there's not that terrible worry, but I'm still going to miss out on seeing everybody there. That's the part I'm genuinely bummed about. There was going to be the World Makers Consortium makeout session was actually scheduled. That's not happening now. So it's really sad. Axel Foley, I appreciate that. So today, we are working on my EmpireToyWorks Speederbike that I've started to customize to look like Kanata's bike from Akira, or Akira, depending on how you say it and how you pronounce it. Akira, if you're very Caucasian. But I customized this bad boy by putting these like wooden bowls on there. I just thought they were like close enough to be some sort of hover element, but also kind of look like the front wheel balls that are on Kanata's bike. And the stickers are just printed at, it's a really good anime. Every bit of it is hand drawn. It has influenced anime ever since. It's influenced animated works, films, movies, everything. There are some really weird plot details in it, but it's so fucking good. Highly recommend it. Carve out a couple hours, sit down and watch it. But Kanata's bike is the kind of the iconic image that's on the poster and everything. So I took this EmpireToyWorks speeder that was pink, and I've documented it all. Everything up until this point where we are conversating now, which I will be pulling clips of. I'll be like, snip that clip there and that clip there to add to the final video. But I have been documenting how I did this, but I masked both ends because EmpireToyWorks did a great job weathering the engines. Excuse me. What up, Red? Too sweet me. Red, Fat Red Food. And so I did that. I masked it. I sprayed it all red. Then I came in with some other reds and hit panels just to give it some like almost like a cell shaded coloration look. Repainted the seat cushion brown. In the film, there are white lights that are kind of on this part of the bike. So I just took some of those nice pearlescent craft half spheres that I have and glued those in place, and I think that they work. I used Montana Gold. I used their brick red, I think it is, Montana Gold, and just painted that up, and then I cut out the stickers that I pirated off the internet like a filthy monster that I am, and they were, this is resin. This is all resin, solid resin. But yeah, I printed off the stickers that were basically screen grabbed and traced from the show anyway, or the anime, excuse me, and I cut them out and I applied them with Mod Podge, and yeah, so now they're on there. They've dried. This has had about a day and a half to dry. I'm gonna take these handles off. Chris Shaler, I believe he drills those in there like little hooks, peg hooks. One of them was really crooked when I got it, which could have been from shipping or whatever. But I have these, which came from a Last Jedi Rebel fighter, and they are way more, it's like for a gun, but they look way more like shifters and gear, you know, actual motorcycle handlebars. So I'm gonna take those out. I've got my handy rusty pliers here. We're gonna unscrew that. I'm sure he put a drop of glue in there too, so we're gonna be fighting that, but we'll get that. Nope, it's just screwed in. Perfect. Left loose, maybe. That one loosened right up. That other one may not. But we'll get these other handlebars put on. But I don't really care for it's a very simple handlebar. Just go like this. Yep, there we go. And I'll show you how pink the paint was. What's up, Jabalong? And again, this a really cool speeder. But that's how pink the bike was. You can see where the paint had been sprayed on first, or the resin had been colored first before those were put in. So I'm willing to bet I'm gonna have to hog these holes out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to open these holes up, but I'll show you. You see the division? Like it looks more like a motorcycle grip, and that's what I want. So I'm gonna use my pin vise that we have here. I'm gonna go ahead and get out the bits, little bits case. Where are you, you son of a bitch? I know you're here. Jess said no screwing, but Jess is not the boss of my screwing. I'm a loosey, filthy little fuck, and I'll screw all over the place. Also, this is some of that waxed wire I was telling you guys about that you could use for hanging wires. Because it's heavily waxed, it just has a good natural drape to it. So, in case you ever want to do that, just get some waxed embroidery thread, I believe it is. Waxed. So, I made this years ago and sci-fi'd it up. And now I've got Craftsman warnings and the illustrious Famine Studios Jackalope sticker and my little FS in Arabesh, and I just made it Star Warsy. Hey, if anybody's gonna wax off on this channel, okay, that's two different things we were talking about. Yes, wax on and wax off. So, pin vise. We've talked about this on the channel. It is a little handheld drill. I am gonna go ahead and change the bit from what I had in there, and I'm gonna see which one of these. Bet you would be the one. And you are. We're gonna see. Come on. Your mom's a hoe. Alright. Back something I think was called Hellsing. Hellsing is an anime, yep. There is an anime called Hellsing, I should say. And Hellsing is a very entertaining anime. Alright, so waxing that ass. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Sorry, I had a Bubba Sparks moment there and I panicked. And I'm just letting the weight of the drill itself do it, and then when I back out, I actually do reverse the direction. Tap it out. Let's see. Let's see how you fit in there. Spit on it. Nope, needs to go one size up, but we'll open the other side up with the same hole size. It's basically just, it's gonna help make opening. It's like, when you try out some of those, we'll call them exit tunnel expanders. You gotta start small. You can't just jump into the big ones. I mean, you can. You're not gonna have a great time, but yeah, I mean, there was already a pilot hole, so this is really just opening it up. If I had a step bit, that would be ideal. Step bit, like I have my bit, and then I remarried, now I have a step bit. No, a step bit is a drill bit that is sometimes 2 to 3 sizes on one shaft. Yeah, I used to use step bits for drilling holes into metal, which is very handy because if you try and punch holes through things like titanium and stuff, just sometimes you're gonna have a very bad time without a step bit. So we'll go one more size up. And again, I'm just letting the direction of the hole that's already there control which way this goes down into the material. And then I'm getting to a certain point, and then I'm just reversing and letting it walk itself out. Put that over there. Now walk it out, now walk it out, now walk it. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. Where'd the other one go? All right, there we go. I was gonna say we've already got a catastrophe on our hands. We might have. Nope, we don't have to go higher. We just have to be firm and just slide that bad boy in. Same on this side, I would imagine. Yep. Oop. Don't want to break that peg off in there. That would be a nightmare. There we go. Like I said, just work that in. And that, kids, is some upgraded handlebars for a rider. And also, because we didn't like mash it in, if we need to open them up a little bit, we can angle them in a little bit if we need to. But I like those, and they're softer material, so if a character has more stiff arms and has to hold them in. But like that right there, if we were gonna stop there, that would be, we could just call it there. We're not gonna, because I'm me. But like that could just be a really neat, hey, I customized this thing, and that's it. Batman Beyond. What about Batman Beyond? Well, so yes for Batman, and I'm gonna be the nerd. Terry's a suit that was once Bruce Wayne's is actually designed for flight. So just like Spider-Man having the spider buggy in the comics, it would not make sense for Terry to have a motorcycle to fly around on when he could in fact just wings and fly. Like a bat. I just work here, guys. I just work here. Yeah, something that never made sense is why he has the Batmobile. But I just assume that's another way for Bruce to keep tabs on him. But yes. I mean, the Arkham Knight did it. He was all, I'm going to be a better Batman than you'll ever be. And then he was not. That's one of my sticking points with that franchise is when they did that with the Arkham Knight and made it. Doesn't matter. It's also designed to sell toys. Because you're right, Javelong. Or Mudhorn, excuse me, Ian. It's who wants to be Batman without a Batmobile? I don't know. So this is where we're at. We've upgraded from the T-Peg handlebars that were like that on there to more racer-inspired handles. I had added these. So again, I'll clip this and have that added into the video. So our next thing is going to be, I want to make this a little more silver. I imagined it was hydrogen powered because of the nanotech in the suit. Just the little nanites gather the hydrogen out of the air and make explosive fuel, and then the suit perspires water. Also, we're talking about a time where he's got a skin-tight bat suit that he can turn a fucking knob and turn into a predator and just vanish. So, I mean, we're leagues ahead. Now, I live alone. It's a good thing I know that there are 3 cats in the other room, one of which is a cat gentleman who thinks that he can open all doors, because that door just on its own. And if I were by myself here, that would have been spooky. But it wasn't. Also, the Rebel Trooper helmet that came with that gun where's that gun? I saved it for parts, yes. This is what I parsed the handles off of. They were just sticking out of the side there, and I guess you're supposed to like hold it like, you know, except... But anyway, I popped the helmet off and put it on one of the barge goons that Ant sent over. So I have a Rebel alien inside of a space helmet, or he could be a Speederbike pilot. So there's that. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that T-joint, that elbow joint there, but he can. Rhino. Has a chip of Rhino. The fuck is a chip of Rhino? Don't you talk about my Rhino that way. But yeah, since he's got a helmet on, I was like, why not stick him on the bike just to see how he looks? And fucking Boom. Space biker. Kick his little feet back. Obviously, he's not anything like Kanata, but he's got a helmet. He's riding a bike. He's doing space things. And then also, if we really wanted him to, like, lean in, he can also do this type of grip on the handlebars. Or any other rider can. And really get him in there and, like, a leaning... So, yeah. But he's going to become a... probably just a rebel pilot or rebel pirate. But I thought that was neat that, you know, because it had the appropriate skin tone, which I could have gotten there and changed or whatever, but he popped right on. And now he's got a cool futuristic soldier helmet on, and I can kind of update his chest armor to match, or vice versa. But I was like, hell yeah. So Ant, thank you again for that guy. And then I'll be able to make myself a Nikto Jedi. It is possible to repaint the helmet, yep. I don't know that I will, but I may repaint the visor. But also that would be an easy helmet to cast. Because it's such a... It's solid up to about there. So in theory, you could fill that with putty or wax and cast that helmet and get a bunch of them for troopers. Might be something I can do in the future if I decide to spend the time on it, but yeah. Hell, you could get those and make them police helmets or riot trooper helmets. You could use those for G.I. Joes. Like, they're not just a rebel trooper or resistance trooper helmet. Oh, and I also sent over this 3PO, so I stripped him of his remaining kit, and I've just been weathering him when it's slow at work and when I have to watch like training videos that are boring, and just been working on this guy, working on a 3PO unit protocol droid and making him look all naked. I hope that we eventually get one without the legs and the forearm stuff and just get like a proper... There you go. Give us an Anakin, Slave Anakin, and a naked 3PO 2-pack with like some of his bedroom stuff. And that'd be a good set. But I mean, look how much better that looks. And that's just using black paint. That's just using matte black war paints or war painter matte black paint. Just brush it on, let it sit for, I don't know, 30 seconds, and then just wipe in the same direction. It goes into all the deep recesses, and then the wires show and everything, and it just looks way better. You think 3PO is going to be revealed at San Diego? I'm curious to what we're going to get revealed at San Diego. It'll be nice to see. So, and this was our landing pad that we had made last week on the stream. But like, we could call that done, but again, because I am me, I want to do some more silver here and possibly a little metallic blue if I have it. I think I've got some metallic blue somewhere. I'm looking over there so that we can make it look kind of like this is a fast engine, so it burns hot and has like scorch. We're gonna have Wrecker in Tick and Omega. I thought about adding some exhaust pipes on here, but I think that becomes redundant, right? Because it's like, what's it need exhaust for? It's literally got a giant exhaust on there. But I thought that was yes, I can do heat tempering by hand, and that's only because I spent so much time watching welds and not watching welders, but like looking at welds as part of my QA inspection process on certain things. I wasn't a weld inspector, but stuff would come from the welding booth to me, and I'd also often have to sandblast weld seams on things, and so I'd watch it go away. And so I know the colorway that it goes, but again, if I don't have a metallic blue, I might not try it, but I mean, I could mix a silver. Could mix a silver with a little bit of blue. Because it just has to be photographed, right? It's not going to be in a movie. It's just got to be seen. What's up, Starboy? Blue and purple. Why do you do this to me, Aunt? I was like, oh, nice easy stream tonight. We're gonna work on this custom, get it wrapped up. I'll do a little silver weathering, a little black to like kind of make it cell shaded. And now I'm over here like, do I want to go ahead and blue that? Make that blue. You're lucky I love you, you son of a bitch. No, you're fine. We'll start the stream over. Everybody rewind. Everybody retract your comments. Go ahead and hit that like button, too, if you're just walking in. Anybody who's just joined us. We worked on this. We changed out the... I'll catch you up, Starboy. I went over the application of the stickers. The bowls that I put on there, they're just little wooden bowls. And I painted them kind of to look like maybe there's something that helps control the steering. I added the black to like be reminiscent of the tires that would be under it. And then just added the stickers, which were traced off of the anime and then printed out on a flat sheet. I Mod Podged those on. There are white lights on the original bike, so I just used those half sphere details that I got for like nail art and stuff. I just glued those on. And I took off the handlebars that EmpireToyWorks had used, which are just straight hooks. They're L hooks that you would like use to hold up a strip of something. And he put those in there. I just popped those out, opened up the hole a little bit, and put in some Star Wars pieces off of a blaster accessory. And now we have a more Akira accurate Speederbike again, but we're gonna do some dry brushing right now on there for silver, and then I'm gonna figure out my bluing, because I did the reason I have blue metallic paint somewhere in this house is because I did a Star Lord blaster for somebody for their Halloween costume. A very fast prop build, but it was one of the orange... Oh, what's the brand? Doesn't matter. There's an orange... they make the Star Wars blasters and stuff you can buy on Halloween, but they're like bright orange and white. Accurate. I hate you. I hate you so much. That's good. Oh, that's upsetting. But anyway, it was a bright orange Star-Lord blaster, and he wanted it to look way more realistic, so some of the green Scotch-Brite, matte black spray paint on there. Then I took drawer liner, which is that little grid, that rubberized grid, draped that over the handle, dusted it with silver so it looked like carbon fiber, painted the gold on it with a brush, and then for the silver tips, I just spray painted the tips silver, and then took that blue, Ruby's, thank you, Ruby's Costume Company. And then I took the metallic blue and just blended it in to make the bluing, the heat scorching on the barrel, and clear coated it and sent it off to my friend for his Halloween costume, and he was very happy. I think he gave me one that I have downstairs. I think I still have it somewhere. Once I spend a small fortune at my basement, it'll probably be on the wall in the sci-fi bar. It's like a behind the bar, like a confiscated weapon. Just the tip. She knows. Just to see how it feels. All right. So give me my shining silver and a dry brush. You, Bjorn, if you could spare 2 of those for me, I'll give you a little kiss. I need 2 of those for my Star-Lord custom that I did, because the blasters that he has, one of them I actually broke. Don't ask me how. I think he fell and it snapped off in his hand, and then the other one doesn't fit in his Infinity Gauntlet hand that I gave him. Shining silver. That's gunmetal. Well, do gunmetal first. Thank you, sir. And yes, get with me on either how much money you need ahead of time or how much you want after, or whatever. If you're there and you want me to send it to you while you're there, or whatever, we'll discuss that off channel. Oh my God, put them into the Jedi Starfighter, but put Axel Foley in the cockpit, because he would fly a purple fucking Jedi Starfighter. Absolutely. Using Army Paints metallic gunmetal, I'm gonna do a couple of passes of a dry brush of the gunmetal. Then I'm going to use shining silver on these last 2 ringlets here. And then we're going to figure out how I'm going to do this bluing on here, because I want to. Not because Ant put the idea in my head. No, it was purely my idea. Yes, I did. That was the one that you picked up for me. Yeah, it was the purple one. The Mace Windu one, if memory serves correct. All right, so let's get this out of here. See, it's the moon. Bring you guys down. Actually looks like these might have started with, no, it's picking it up. Okay. I'm not going to go crazy with it then. I'm like sitting here looking at this and I'm like, man, maybe it's, maybe this was cast in a gunmetal, or maybe there's metallic in the resin. But as I tilt it, and yeah, actually you can see it on camera, it's picking it up and making it shiny versus, that, which is matte. Does that make sense? Do you guys see that, how that's matte? When we flip it over, that picks up the light better. And I actually do think, and I'll, if I ever get the chance to actually like speak to Empire, because we've tried to get him on WMC a couple of times, and it hasn't happened yet. But if I get to ask, I think he dusts his mold with a rust and then casts it in a either gray or a powdered metal resin. Now, I just want you guys to know, I've exercised a tremendous amount of self-control working on this, because I was all set to, like, put caution stickers and stuff on there. Like, I have some more strips of little caution stickers, and I was like, oh, I'll get out a little pen and do some graffiti on there. But I at the very least, like to live with it as this, you know, Akira-inspired red speeder bike for a little while before I go completely ham and like really gimmick it up. I think there's something to be said as an artist to, if you have like a really crazy bonkers idea on a project and the project's going well so far, I think there's something to be said about just giving it a little bit of time to exist as it is, as it's good, and then consider adding or making changes, because it's I think it was, maybe it was Da Vinci, I might be wrong, but I believe it was Da Vinci or perhaps Michelangelo who said that art is never finished, it's merely abandoned. And so I think it's okay for me to get this to where I'm happy with it as an Akira inspired speeder bike before I go the extra steps and like Famine Studios it up and add way too much grime and graffiti and things like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's kind of become not my signature look of my art style, because I think my art kind of does have like a signature look to it. I think that my paint jobs all are very similar. Whether that's great or not, I don't know. That's for other people to decide, but I'm happy with it. But like, I think it's going to be okay for me to just let this sit as an Akira bike and have it as an homage for a while, sitting on the landing pad over somebody's cyberpunk / Star Wars inspired apartment, and be okay with that. So now we've got this gunmetal dry brush on there. I'm gonna leave the interior alone. Well, but Famine, you just said, I heard what I just said out loud, and I was like, that doesn't sound like something you would say, Famine. So I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit of gunmetal on the inside. Help it catch light for photos. And also it'll give the blue a little something to grab onto. But that's one of the cool things, is that I will say this about EmpireToyWorks. He didn't skimp on the details inside. There we go. You can see there are pieces that go around on the inside, and then in there's a post that sticks out, and there's what looks like maybe when he cast it, he pushed a push pin in there to make it the bubble. That's really cool. He posts on Instagram and Facebook daily, and it seems like he does big runs, because it's not pocket watching. It feels like pocket watching. And Empire, if you watch this, because again, I've tagged you in the video description and stuff, and we're working on one of your things, I promise it's not pocket watching. It's just trying to buy your stuff on eBay. There is one big buyer who consistently just keeps buying up all the shit. I'm sure you know, because you mail the stuff, so I'm not pocket watching you. It's just very clear when the same winner is buying up all the stuff and then posting on Facebook like, oh, I just got a shipment in from EmpireToyWorks. I've got these 6 or 7 buildings that are all from the same run. But anyway, he produces a big batch of things and then jumps into, it looks like, producing cycles. So he did a run where over the month of December, it was doorway, wall panel, hover bikes, doorway, wall panel, hover bikes. Then he shifted into buildings, droids, buildings, droid carts, buildings. Like, it seems like he goes and he does a lot of his stuff and his sales in like a month on and maybe like a month off. But that's me observing the pattern. That's very clear, because you try and go buy something, but like things like this, I couldn't say no to having one of these. When he does the round ones too, I'd love to pick that up and make a Mandalorian speeder bike for Bo-Katan off of it. Just get one, blue it up, paint it to look like the artwork that was all around the city of Mandalore, how it had kind of that particular style. Where's the Mandalorian guard? I was just playing with him earlier. And I was like, ACAB includes Mandalorian door guards. But kind of that stylized look. But I mean, I'm not gonna. But how cool would that be on like the front of a Speederbike. Even though I already did it on a four-wheeler for the Clan of the Broken Tusk. But I'm just saying, it's an option. Anyway, so we've gotten the gunmetal on there. That's picking up lighting nicely. Now I want to go with some shining silver. That's plate mail. Shining silver. Yeah, I like his stuff. I've owned a couple of his things. I've also sold a couple of his things. This is one of these things I'm going to keep because I put so much custom work into it. But like his stuff maintains its value. I'll give him credit where credit is due. Some of his stuff, a lot of his stuff is well outside of my price range. That is not a knock or a discouragement. Some people live and die by like the designer toys and want to have those things, and it's worth that money, and he also can get it. You bought a droid, the cart with the cargo. I think I sold it to you for exactly what I paid for it too, or a little less. But yeah, like his stuff, I'm certain it's worth it. This is solid. If I were to give this to a niece or nephew of mine, they're not gonna break this toy. You'd have to like hawk this thing at some concrete from a good distance up in order to break this. Like, this is an impressively built thing. It ain't no way I'm knocking that. But it is expensive, especially for the level of world building that I do and also the type of customizing that I like to do. And right now what I'm doing isn't so much dry brushing, is more like over brushing. I'm hitting those last two big rings, these two here, with this shining silver, and I'm just letting the tip, tickle the that ring, that third ring there. So this one here, because I'm hoping that I can make it look like it's blending, like the metal is transitioning colors. You'll see. But yeah. Well, yeah, we've decided that's the way. We call that the Fat Red Foo method, where you measure how good a toy is of how much grievous bodily harm you can do to somebody with it, and this could knock a child out. Paint Daddy, nice. I'm gonna get, that's gonna be my tattoo. I'm gonna get Paint Daddy tattooed on me. I'm gonna look like fucking. Do you guys remember those? They're actually making a comeback, but they were in vending machines. You could get the little rubber, like, vending machine figurines, and they were like called shorties or something, but they were all like hip-hop 90s and millennial inspired hip-hops with like baggy jeans and shit, and Big Daddy Dry Brush. Dude, I'll give you a quarter every time I sell a Big Daddy Dry Brush t-shirt. But what the fuck were they called? Homies, that's what they were called. Thank you, Bjorn. But yeah, they're starting to make a comeback. And one of them was a shirtless guy, or maybe this was one of the bootleg ones, but it was a shirtless dude, and he looked like, he was probably designed to look kind of like a cholo with his shirt off, but he had a tattoo across his belly, and it was like the rocker was just like Homies or LA Homies or something. And instead, I'll just take my shirt off. I'll be all tatted up, big fucking chesticles and belly out. And instead of Thug Life, I'll just have Dry Brush as my rocker across my back. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Oh. Now, how am I going to work that into my intro? What's up, everybody? This is Famine from Famine Studios, a.k.a. Big Daddy Dry Brush, coming back at you live to hit you with another exciting project. Wow, that came out way too easy. Tremendous. Okay. Again. All right. Now, Yeah, that came out way too easy. Now I'm tilting the brush because I've been painting all in one direction. Once I see how that side is like all crappy and scratchy, so I've only been using this side. I'm gonna drag that through there, give it a good wipe off on the thing, and now I'm just gonna touch the outside ring and pull just enough to leave a little bit on there. So now we're looking at this. Like, see how the color gradient goes from darker gunmetal to shinier? Now I'm going to take some of the shining silver, and I don't know if this is going to work. This is very experimental. If this works, please do it. Do it on your own. Do it all by yourself. We're going to do purple first. I'm going to do a little bit of shining silver, like just a drop of shining silver. I'm going to go with purple. So which purple we're going to use? We're going to use Alien Purple. Come on, you filthy. Okay, it's plugged up. There we go. Perfect. Come on, push that worm out of there. Get it out of there. So got the purple. Take that brush, mix the two. So I have like a really shiny purple. Yeah, this is gonna work nicely. So I've just mixed that up. Got, looks good on green, which means it's gonna be a little bit lighter when I dry brush this on. Taking a good majority of it off now. Let's see if I can do this without effing myself over here. Okay. This will work, I think. Okay. So now we're getting the color there, and then we're going to do blue and gold. I'm going to do the blue and blend it with the purple. The blue is going to be closer to a silver blue. I think I'm going to do it the same way I did this, and then the gold. And that should give it the effect that we want. Or at least that I think it'll do. Lord only knows. My scrap fabric over here. And we will go with a nice Viking blue. We'll get our silver. Well, thanks for that. It's all right. Make it through. There we go. Just pull out blue. Pull a little more blue. Fold that in. Maybe this will work out well. Maybe it won't. We'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Now the trick to creating this kind of weld looking gradient is to pick a line and work away from that line. Don't go back, if you accidentally go up a little bit, that's fine. Just don't like make it critical that you're trying to chase back that line, because you don't want to chase back that line. You want it to look natural and like it's happened due to heat scoring. You don't need to worry or be too precious about it. You just want to say that's the line, that's as far up as I'm going, and then everything should work away from that. So now I'm starting to pull the blue away from that line, letting some of that purple poke through, because it's just basically, I'm not even over brushing. This is pretty damn close to dry brushing. And that silver underneath it is really going to shine through, which helps the blue remain bluish, because you want that blue scoring. So now I've got that. So let me go, I actually want to go a little bit more here. Give me a little more silver, a little more blue on that brush. Put it together. I'm just gonna add a little bit more detail here. And it's again just creating a color gradient. And even though I'm going to do gold around there, I'm going to pull this blue inside that little lip that we did. Remember when we went back in there and we put a little bit of gunmetal inside of there? And that blue looks as it should. Like the coloration has started to come out of there. And now last but not least, because I'm pretty goddamn happy with that, how that's looking. It's not the brush I was working with. Is that the brush I was? Son of a bitch! It's gotta be the one. Yep, that's the one. I like to work with the same brush if I can. We're gonna make... I like gold! Bright gold. And I'm not going to screw myself here. That part comes later. Just get that out of the way. You really want to mix up that good metally goodness, and that's War Painter's Bright Gold. War Paints. Army Painter War Paints. Boop. There you go. See, once you start to go like that, it starts to come out of the tip, so you just have to watch your direction when you open it, or else you get it in your hair, and then she laughs at you because, like, I thought your aim was better than that. It's a whole thing. So I'm just pulling a little bit of that paint onto the brush, pulling it as far away, and this gold is now gonna kiss over the blue. Oh yeah, this is doing what I want it to. Oh yeah. This is your fault, Anthony. This is your fault. Is just a little bit more. And now we've got a heat scored engine, whatever this thing is. Engine, exhaust, heat scored exhaust. I'm just going to pull that gold a little bit more. And now I'm just gonna walk around the rim. I think I see one thing I am gonna do. I am gonna take some of that shining silver that I was working with. I almost feel like that was too subtle where I did. Heat tempered, whatever, heat scored. I don't, you know, do I look like a mini painter? Do I look like a mini anything? Okay, the last mini thing that I ate was mini M&Ms and I just shot the whole tube like it was a shot glass, all right? Bit of that shining silver on there. I just want to take that paint off my hand. Like I took off all my rings and all my bracelets and shit. Like my Firefly bracelet and my paracord survival bracelet, because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to get paint on it. And then it's like almost as though subconsciously I'm aware that I don't have my jewelry on, so I just get paint all over myself like a goddamn toddler. Oop. And then I struggle. Not getting it on other things, but all right, I'm happy with that. All right, now to do a little weathering on this while we've got it out. Shining silver. I'm just gonna scrape, scrape, scrape. Scrape, scrape. Scrape, scrape. Oop, oop. Put some, just a little bit of real world wear on there. But just enough to catch the light. You could be extra precious, extra special. Do what I just did. And also hit the inside. And have that line. There we go. I'm like, how do I show them this in this lighting? But it just catches the light. Because of course, debris gimmick is a dusty place. There's some debris. Okay. Now, get rid of those metallics. I'm going to clean that brush really quick because I'm going to switch to a black paint, a matte black acrylic paint. And I'm going to use that as kind of like a weathering highlight, almost to accomplish a cell shading look. I don't want this thing to look entirely cell shaded. I've tried that on projects years ago. When I was doing my Jurassic Park customs, like when I was a kid, I was like, if I line everything with the color, it looks like a cartoon. And this was before cell shading was like popular, that people used to do it like on actual cars and stuff and made it look good. I've just always been wary of that since that I've done it. So I'm not going to do it. But I'll show you what I'm going to do. So just get rid of that. Get out of there. You get out of there, you goddamn thing. And then I'm going to grab a piece of tape here. Matte black. Boy, I hope that makes it in the clips. Y'all saw it, right? The fucking hands. Call that the famine toss. Curse your inevitable but sudden betrayal. Oh. Where are you, Wash? You son of a bitch. I got this for like $5. Not because I wanted the figure, but because I needed Wash's tiny little dinosaurs to go in my eventual starship. Had to do it. All right. Little black paint. Little black paint on my brush. Just the edge of the brush as best I can. And then pick an inconspicuous spot to try this. There we go. So I'm just touching some edges with black. Normally in places where I might do my weathering with silver or whatever, because this is a red cycle, it's based on an animated look, so I'm trying to maintain some of that. And I think it gives it a cooler, like, weathering look than just if I were to do this with silver. So when I'm done, y'all can tell me if I effed it up or if I did okay. But I think that doing it this way offers a certain something to the look. It almost makes it like cartoony, I think. Which is just a little bit of what I want. Like I want it reminiscent of that. And there's a reason I'm not using a line brush, like I'm not using a tiny pin, is because when I do this and I do the strikes, the sweeps, if I pull away, it looks kind of like it's leaving a line of streakiness that I think is important to showing motion. And I'll show you in just a second here. See? That shows me that whatever caused this dirt and debris moved this way. And also, here's a useless piece of information. If you look up what a smoking rivet tail is, or a smoking rivet on an aircraft, you'll see that is they're not actually smoking. It's just the rivets are caught in drag in moving through the sky on an aircraft, and at certain altitudes and angles it causes them to expand or shrink, and it allows them to pick up particulates, and when they come down it looks like they've got little marks down all the rivets as though they smoked, like there was smoke coming off of them while they were flying through the air. So, a little bit of useless trivia for you guys. Okay, just a little bit there. And come over here and do a little bit there too. I don't want it to be an exact mirror on either side, but I also recognize the need of, like, well, if it's moving forward and it's a pretty symmetrical bike, then you're going to get the same kind of weathering on either side. Okay. Do a little bit of I thought about putting a windscreen on here, or windshield, whatever you want to call it, and I didn't. Because I'm like, no, I want to keep the design closer to what Chris has done here. But I like the idea that maybe the rider wears a helmet when he's, like, cruising at those speeds. And this is where I was like, I could go crazy on this and like do all my typical weathering and washes and stuff, but I'm like, I'm bringing it as close as to like the famine weathering, my style, as I can without actually doing my style, but maintaining the look that Chris had on his work here, but also like giving it a little bit of my, just a little bit of my touch, little touch, a little bit of famine, you know? So it's like, okay, there's some grimy grease spots on there. They're not too terrible. Let's see here, we'll do a couple. Do it on there, pull that out. And that's definitely where there would be some grease and grime. And then on the bottom, I don't know how often I'll ever take a picture of the bottom of the bike, but because I'm me, I will put a little bit more down there. A little bit of black on the engine. Go in here. Now we're going to go inside the engine. And just that little ball there. Go around that, put a little black on there. Can't really see it in this lighting. But I think I'm going to clear coat this and call this done. But yeah, that's our Akira inspired EmpireToyWorks customized Speederbike. So we got that project done. I'm gonna stop. That's me exercising restraint on my own artwork. I deserve gold star. Bjorn, I'm not going to answer that question. It's far too soon, sir. Far too soon. Agua. Yeah, so I'm super happy with that, how that turned out. It has not been long enough, sir. Of several things that Joss Whedon has done, that is up there in the bad. I'm not saying it's the worst. I would never say that, but I'm just saying it's up there with the bad. That's going to be the comment that gets me canceled. Well, he said this, and what he actually meant is that not. I did not. Dude's a reprehensible piece of shit. As far as his writing goes, there are some awful goddamn things that he did. One of those, cover your ears for a show that's over 20 fucking years old by this point, but killing Dawn Summers in Buffy. I can't even watch that episode anymore. Or not killing Dawn, killing Mrs. Summers. And, yeah, killing Wash. I don't want to get into it. But, well, yeah, we've got that done. Also, from those of you who remember when you watched the, thank you for the star, Joyce, thank you. I don't know why I said Dawn, because Dawnie, but she's Pat. You know what I was trying to do. I attached this to the base, so again, it's like some little charging beacon or like get home and park and you know it's yours. And just a little greebly on the surface there. Who knows what it's for. And then I've got some crates from Rad Toys Galaxy that he had 3D printed. These were from his older printer, so they're a little rougher. I don't care. She could have, Buffy, I met a wonderful man. He's going to take me far away from this. I wasn't prepared. But they were rougher prints. His print quality is superior now, far superior. But I'm gonna paint these up after I Mod Podge a few coats on there just to fill in some of the gaps, and have, you know, just a crate sitting on there with, you know, maybe some little tools on it or something. Maybe the driver has a protocol droid or a pit droid. I don't know. He parks, the droid works on it or stands guard or whatever. It's like, cool, we got a little landing pad. Oh, 3PO, no! Also, 3PO could have a, well, not 3PO. You know who he is. He's not 3PO, that's for goddamn sure. But he could have a little boombox rig on his back. But yeah, I've just been working on things here and there, chipping away at projects and stuff, especially like in between when I'm not super busy while I'm working, or if I have to, again, I learn better if I'm doing something at the same time, which is really, sounds counterintuitive, but if someone's talking and I can watch what they're doing, but also like keep my hands occupied. Aunt sent over this warehouse sign that's gonna go right above that door that my finger is in front of. And I started working on it today, and I noticed there were some gaps in the lettering, so I backfilled those with Mod Podge, and I'm going to do another coat of Mod Podge over the letters and then finish painting everything up. But I'll have a neat little warehouse sign to go right there where there's a strike happening. The dock workers are striking, and the Empire's trying to quell that, and we don't take kindly to that there. What else is on my workbench? I have a lot of things that I'm not ready to show you yet. I will show you one of them. I'm doing a like a Sith loyalist type general or admiral or whatever he is. He's not, obviously he's not a Sith, but he's an occultist, right? He follows the anything that the Emperor or the dark side needs, or whoever is in charge of the Imperial, whatever that believes in the Sith, he will absolutely take care of that. You know, so I gave him the Tuscan drape, and I think with a little dry brush, maybe turn that scarf like a blood red, put some gold on that bit there, and make his, whatever this thing is here, his cummerbund armor, make that gold too, put a little Sith symbol on there perhaps. But he just looks like a fuckface. Like, he just looks like he's somebody awful that would worship ancient evil. Well, I wouldn't say Skyrim so much as like the people that were filling the arena in, and I know it's not everybody's favorites, but the last of the sequel movies, all the people that were gathering for Palpatine that had been participating in rituals and stuff that he had gathered from the galaxy, like somebody like that, that's like a true believer. Kind of like MGT, a true believer. So somebody like that, but I was been working on that, and I've got my my Imperial Hydra unit, their commander. I've been working on that, just trying out different things, trying different poses, different looks. I need to get some water slide decals, and yeah, he's going to be in command of the Hydra unit of the Empire, and how he got there and how that all happened will be told in the story one day. I think I like Krennic in the white cloak, his raincoat, but also with the Kylo, kind of sexy, kind of Hugo Boss though at the same time. So it's like, you know, he's a bad guy, but also the stark contrast. And then I'm working on my zombie Doctor Strange with a cat hair attached to him, doing his little magic spells. I think I might, I don't know, I think I might shave his neck down a little bit just so it doesn't look like he's got a giant honking neck with that head, because the head sculpt isn't actually a terrible size. It is a little big, but also it could be much worse. But I've been working on like tattering his outfit and things like that. So just little bits and pieces of projects. Like if I get a second and I pick something up and I might fuss with it for a little bit and then set it aside, come back to it later. That's what I've been doing. Oh, and Aunt sent over this greebly, which I then trimmed the back of so it'll sit flush on the wall, and I'm working on getting ready to weather that with some metallics and possibly some colors in the thing. They do. The actor who plays Thrawn, his figure in particular does look like Musk, because the actor kind of does favor him in some ways. Like when he sits a certain way, his he looks like what Musk looks like now. If Musk still looked like what he did before he had all his gender affirming surgeries and stuff like that, with his jaw reconstruction and his bridge and the hair and stuff, he would look like a completely different person. But because of that, the actor does look a little bit like him. Unfortunate for him. Mickelson, yeah. Which sucks, because, I mean, would you want to look like that guy? I wouldn't want to look like that guy. No, you're not going crazy. You're not the only person, too. It's like a lot of people were like, oh, I didn't know Elon Musk was playing Grand Admiral Thrawn in Ahsoka. Hoy. And it's like, come on, man. Don't fucking insult the guy. You can't help he looks that way while he's blue also. I do have to weather my Imperial tank, and I have some of those red Imperial logos that I like using for this version of the Empire. So those will be on there. And also I want to make a styrene piece that looks like an exploded damage to this thing, so that I can use it in like displays, but also like if I start doing a photo novel or telling stories on there, I can put that on there and make it look like it took damage. I think that'd look cool. This is the one from Rebels. It's actually got a good level of detail, so the weathering and washes and stuff are gonna look really good. Where did what come from? Where did who come from? This? Yeah, I bought that. I think I actually bought this from, could be wrong, but I do believe I picked this up from Blasting Bucketheads. But I also have to get with him. I'm going to be purchasing some of his Mud Trooper helmets for some of my Hydra Marines. Oh, the snowflake, she woke up. Hello, Mau Mau. Oh, nope, we're going back down. See, Aunt? She's still obsessed with this fucking piece of paper, man. She just loves it. Huh, Snowflake? Oh, you go see peace? Alright, Dad'll shut up. So leave me alone, Father. Father, leave me alone. Yes, sir, they made one for Rebels. I actually wish I had the, I wish I still had my original G.I. Joe, or I think it was released for G.I. Joe, and then they repurposed it. I had a G.I. Joe one, and I spray painted it with like a fucking enamel gray primer that my grandfather had laying around. I used the whole can because I was like, more seems better. And so, like, I fucking blasted this thing, and it looked like shit. It looked like shit. But I had done that up, and I wish I still had the thing. But like my grandpa went to use his spray paint, and he's like, "Who the fuck used all the gray spray paint? This can was brand new." I'm just like, I don't know. That's weird how that happens sometimes. Sometimes I read that on the internet. Sometimes those cans just empty out. I don't know. Why does your room smell like spray paint? Couldn't tell you. No idea. Oh, God. So dumb. Oh, it was so dumb. Oh. I wonder where the fuck that thing wound up. Huh. Somewhere a mouse is living high in that thing. He's got a little interior setup and everything. And that's the other thing too, is there's a lot of detail on the inside as well. Just take that off there. But like the inside has actual panel work that's meant for the inside. It's not just the exterior depressed, like the exterior's flat. Whereas the inside has all this panel work and detail that you can show. There's seating on the inside for 3 troopers. Like, some work went into this. And there's, you know, storage. I guess there were missiles or something that all went fit in there. Or I don't. I bought it used, like I said. And then the underside also, again, has actual like exterior work for the engines and whatnot. So I may cut these off, these little raised pieces, because you guys know me, I just like to do a little block underneath it so it creates the elevated look, but unless you really tilt it, you can't see the wheels. But there's like attach points. It shouldn't have missiles. Well, whatever goes in these, because there were something here, because there's a fire button. So I'm guessing that's what, or maybe it's for their blasters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So maybe it's for the blasters. I don't know, Bjorn. I just work here. Just work here, my friend. But like there's anchor points where you can see where the trooper would like have to clip in when they're riding on the outside. Little shit like that tickles me. So I can't wait to weather this and paint this up the way I like it. But in the meantime, it's operating as a nasty support vehicle, menacing over there. All right, all you cool cats and kittens, I'm gonna call it tonight. I'm gonna go wash my paws and I don't know, take care of that grievous wound on my hand from mowing the lawn yesterday. I've got this weed, this invasive species that my grandmother had planted, and I spent several days digging out this giant root ball. Took care of it, ripped out as many of the root leads as I could, poisoned the damn things, like scorched them with a lighter or a little torch thing. Like I went hard on it. No, it's not raspberry. It's some invasive fucking weed. It's a weed vine. Well, anyway, because we've had so much rain, they've started to pop up. Little sprouts have popped up in the yard. They're hardy enough to where I could yank them out and get the root. So they're nice and thick, but they're also hardy enough that it impedes my push mower. It's not a gas-powered mower. So like that's what I kept doing is I'd get a good mowing at a good clip and then I'd catch on them. And I was jamming the handle into my fucking hand and I got a blister. And of course the first thing that the blister does is it breaks and I hurt my hand. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get cleaned up and get into bed and watch a little bit of the old television before I fall asleep. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an excellent rest of the week. You guys will see me more this week streaming, not tomorrow though. Tomorrow's AEW. And you'll see me on Friday. Be well, guys. Too sweet me. Thanks for being here. Oh, the Patreon link's in the description. If you want to help support the channel that way, you can become a member, super chats. Just fold up a $20 bill, stick it in the mail. It'll get to me. But yeah, I appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Be well, too sweet me.